The Jewish Response to Missionaries. This is a powerful, new, and complete 18-part digitally remastered CD series or 24-part cassette series with 423 new pages, plus an in-depth study guide by Rabbi Tovia Singer, a must-have for any library collection. This outstanding commentary is available now for only $99 plus shipping and handling. Order online now at www.outreachjudaism.org or call toll-free 1-800-315-JEWS. That's 1-800-315-JEWS.
Hi everyone, a puppet show with the Jewish message, the Holy Temple Assembly in Jerusalem, and a Tu B'Shvat musical tour in the Ne'ot Kdumim Nature Reserve. Let's begin. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. First, let's meet Ra'anan Ziv and his mother, Yael. Ra'anan was a non-observant teenager who decided to come closer to Judaism through Chabad. The fact that there is now a gap of lifestyle between Ra'anan and his mother, as his mother is non-observant, doesn't interfere with their work together as a puppeteer and a puppet creator.
ניסים, מה? זה לא נדיר הקוסם אמור להוציא אותי מהכובע?
Ra'anan Ziv is a puppeteer who tours the country with a puppet show for children. But we decided to visit Ra'anan at his mother's house in Haifa, where his puppets are created.
זה בובה שעשויה מספוג לא מצופה, ספוג מקופל.
This puppet is made out of sponge. It's a very simple doll.
מה פתאום טלוויזיה? ובלי להודיע מראש.
As a non-observant high school student, Ra'anan Ziv learned theater and drama. Years later, after Ra'anan became religious, he found himself returning to the stage. Ra'anan Ziv was working as a social activity coordinator for yeshivas. The various theaters and puppet shows that he encountered in his work drove him to involve himself with puppets.
וכמו שאומרים, נדלקתי, זה מאוד מצא חן בעיניי.
I was drawn to the field, so I started thinking. I remembered what I learned in high school, and I decided that I wanted to do something.
ולחשוב איך אני יכול גם כן לעשות משהו כזה. הגישה בחב"ד היא שכל כישרון, אנחנו לא...
In Chabad, we believe that you shouldn't run away from a talent you have. Rather, you should fill it with Jewish values.
In the beginning, in 1997, Ra'anan worked on his own. After he started working with different artists who helped him design his shows, Ra'anan decided to approach his mother.
מה שקרה בעצם פריצת הדרך הגדולה הייתה כשאמא שלי יצאה לפנסיה.
My big breakthrough was when my mother retired. I convinced her to start creating puppets. In the beginning, she didn't want to.
I told him, what's your problem, puppets? What are you talking about? At my age, I start playing with dolls? So he said, I give you a puppet that I have, and you copy it and make more puppets. So I told him, okay, let's try. We'll see.
Yael enjoyed creating the puppets, but felt that she needed to learn how to create puppets professionally. And so Yael learned the art of creating puppets in a professional puppet school. A mother and son working together is common in the world of puppets. In many cities throughout the world, puppet theaters are managed by families.
Puppet theater is very family-oriented. There isn't much profit in this field, so people do it out of love, through an inner drive, and so in many cases, it's a family business.
The working relationship between a puppeteer and the puppet creator can sometimes be tense. The demands and requirements that the puppeteer presents when ordering the puppet, and the many corrections that he usually requests after the puppet's ready, can drive the puppet creator up the wall. Even though it might not be like this in all cases, in Ra'anan and his mother's case, their family relationship helps make the puppet creating process calm and pleasant.
Throughout the process of creating a puppet, I can drive him out of his mind, nagging him. What do you want? How many centimeters? What angle, what color?
איזה גוון.
כשמדובר על בני משפחה, אז כמובן...
When it's a family member, there's more patience and tolerance, and that's why it works very well.
וזה קורה לנו...
It happens often that I come with a puppet and he says, "That's exactly what I wanted."
Since Ra'anan became religious, his lifestyle and that of his mother's has grown far from one another. This gap doesn't bother the work. On the contrary, they each bring their own style to the puppets. In the beginning, Ra'anan's plays were based on traditional Jewish tales about communities and villages in Europe. Yael, who was working as a teacher for young children at the time, told Ra'anan that he must change his style.
אמרתי לו, תגיד, מה אתה מביא?
I told him, "Why are you using these stories with Gentiles, peasants and villages? What do they understand about this?" So he said, "But those are the stories that they hear." So I told him to forget about their stories. Today he writes all his own plays, so it's more authentic for the children.
מילא יותר אותנטי לילדים.
The topics presented in Ra'anan's plays are all related to Jewish concepts.
כמובן שאנחנו לא תחליף לשיעור.
Of course, it's not instead of a lesson or instead of school. It's light and easy. We convey the Jewish message in a light and easy way.
כולם אומרים שאני גאוותן. אני בכלל לא מבין למה.
Inspired by Sesame Street and the Muppets, Ra'anan has a lot of humor in his plays. The mood and atmosphere of the play is something that is taken into account when creating the puppets.
The puppet determines the nature of the show. If you have smiley, soft dolls, the show will be smiley and soft accordingly.
So what's the secret that makes the puppets so attractive and magnificent?
The puppet lets people express feelings and emotions that otherwise they'd keep deep inside.
אתה יכול לעשות עם זה.
You can do anything with it. There are no boundaries.
לבובה אין מגבלה.
הגדי הוא תמיד מייצג את הטיפוס הביישן, חסר הביטחון העצמי.
The young goat always represents a bashful character. So if we have a scene with the goat, it will be a scene that could help a bashful child to deal with his nature.
מה שלומך? אתם מהאינטרנט, מהטלוויזיה?
The combination of the messages together with the childish humor in his shows is what lets Ra'anan Ziv reach a diverse audience.
הגעתי לתלמודי תורה
I reach Orthodox schools where I meet children who've never seen a puppet show. On the other hand, I've reached places where they've never heard these kind of Jewish messages.
Okay, it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, we have to say goodbye, okay?
Bye-bye.
So, bye everybody. We'll be back in the studio right after this.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Shalom. We have to say shalom. It's Israeli salad.
Okay. Shalom.
Shalom.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
Does the concept of the Holy Temple, Beit HaMikdash, contradict the idea of the State of Israel? This was one of the questions raised in a special conference held in Jerusalem. The conference was initiated by various organizations that promote spreading the knowledge about the Holy Temple and the yearning for its being rebuilt. In the past few years, more and more people have been visiting the Temple Mount. Many rabbis sound out rulings according to which, although the location is considered sacred, Jews must be encouraged to visit the Temple Mount, in accordance to the laws of ritual purity, in order to strengthen Jewish presence in the location. In 1988, Machon HaMikdash was founded by Rabbi Yisrael Ariel. The main goal of Machon HaMikdash is to strengthen in the hearts of the Jewish people the yearning for the building of the Holy Temple. A variety of organizations that are involved in the past and future of the Holy Temple took part in the Mikdash Assembly, which took place on January 24th in Jerusalem.
We're here to express our longing for the Holy Temple, a longing that the whole nation of Israel should feel. When there's a crisis, you return to your roots and get strength. Our roots are in the Holy Temple.
In the first part of the assembly, discussions were held regarding the impact that the rebuilding of the Holy Temple will have on Israeli society. But does the assembly represent a message of despair from the existing Jewish state?
לא. המדינה הישראלית.
No, the state of Israel is the first stage, the first floor. It's the materialistic building. Now it's time for the spiritual building, the Holy Temple. Israel is the first building. Jerusalem and the Holy Temple are more heavenly and a superior stage. This movement must switch for present leadership sooner or later. So this is sort of a revolt, not a violent or aggressive revolution, but rather a cultural challenge. People need to want this, and their will bring a change. It's not about politics. That's not the issue. We must remember that according to the Torah, one of the main mitzvot that the people of Israel are commanded to do is to build the Holy Temple. And we're trying to awaken people to this. Yes, this is a revolt against the dullness, a revolt against the evilness, a revolt against the destruction.
The second part of the assembly was more culinary, as the participants learned how some of the bread offerings in the Holy Temple were made.
So all that's left to wish you all is bon appetit.
On Tuesday, January 25th, the festival of Tu B'Shvat was celebrated. Tu B'Shvat is the new year for trees, and throughout the country, trees were planted by young and old. The tree planting tradition is to show an eternal connection of the people of Israel to the land of Israel. Small saplings were planted throughout the country as the land of Israel continues to flourish. In the Neot Kdumim Nature Reserve, there is a feeling of Tu B'Shvat all year round. Neot Kdumim is called the Biblical Landscape Reserve in Israel. In Neot Kdumim, the nature and agriculture is presented through emphasizing the connection to Jewish heritage. At the reserve, they prove that you can learn a lot about the nature by studying Jewish sources. Gabi Newman joined a new tour in Neot Kdumim called The Song of the Land. This musical tour uses 3 tools: a Bible, a songbook, and an accordion.
The idea is to connect between songs written by our famous songwriters, songs about nature and the sources, and sometimes even include quotes from the sources. We bring these songs to Neot Kdumim for a series of tours relating to the various seasons. We have a special tour on the day of Tu B'Shvat, the New Year's Day for trees. It's a day that is connected to nature, and there are many songs that relate to Tu B'Shvat. We hike with the participants and sing the songs.
הטבע שקיים כאן בארץ היה קיים גם לפני 2,000 ו-3,000 שנה בארץ ישראל, וכמו שחכמים וכמו שאבותינו התייחסו...
The nature that exists today in Israel existed also 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Just as our forefathers related to nature, today the songwriters see the same tree, fig, almond, vine, olive tree, and all the flowers, and they refer to these as well. When you read the songs, you see that the songwriters were familiar with the Talmudic sources. More and more people are discovering the sources. Today, many people want to have a Tu B'Shvat Seder. They want to relate to Tu B'Shvat together with their families. They call me to join them with the accordions singing Israeli songs. It's a festival, the land of Israel.
Be sure to visit the Israeli Salad website. On the Israeli Salad site, scroll through all the editions. see what topics were presented on each program, and simply click on the icon to watch your favorite program. Also, watch all our fantastic music videos featured right here on Israeli Salad. So be sure to click on www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm. That's www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm.
And now our weekly insight. Today we'll be discussing the Parsha, the portion of the week of Mishpatim. Shalom to Rabbi Samson in Jerusalem.
Shalom Yoni. Shalom to all of our viewers around the world.
In the Parsha of Mishpatim, we learn of the Jewish laws of slavery. In the Parsha of Mishpatim, the Jews have just been freed from slavery, yet they are instructed on how to treat slaves in a moral manner. So, how can there be any moral aspect in owning human beings?
Well, trying to protect the concept of slavery in our day and age is probably tantamount to attacking motherhood or something. And it's not a simple concept to understand. However, there's a very interesting example that's given by Rabbi Cook in his writings. And he gives the following example, that if a person has a regular worker in his coal mine, he really doesn't care if the miners contract disease or if they have proper ventilation, because even if something would happen to them, he's able to replace them with new coal miners, and it's not his own possession. However, if he would actually own the coal miners, he would be much more involved and worried about the personal benefit of his own personal coal miners. And it's something that we recognize today, that all of a sudden all of these different workers for different companies have contracted cancer and have dying, and the companies either admit it or don't admit it, but don't really care because they're able to get different workers. However, that's actually a benefit of having a concept of slavery as opposed to a union worker, where it's the involvement of the employer is much more and it's much greater than the care that he has towards a regular worker.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Samson.
The Weekly Insight is brought to you in cooperation with Machon Meir, the largest Zionist institute in Israel, bringing people closer to Judaism.
Okay, that's all for this week. Join us again next week for another edition. Until next time, from all of us here at Israel National News, Shalom.
Yeah.